My husband kicked me out. My name is Stella. I remember the rain. It was a cold night. It was very dark. The wind was strong. I stood outside my house. I looked at the door. The door was closed. The door was locked. My clothes were on the ground. They were wet. The rain fell on my dresses. The rain fell on my coats. I knocked on the door. I cried. "Mark, please," I shouted. "Please open the door. It is cold. I have nowhere to go." But the door did not open. I heard him inside. He laughed. He was not alone. There was a woman with him. I knew her. She was younger than me. She was prettier than me. Or, that is what Mark said. "Go away, Stella," Mark shouted through the door. "I do not want you here. You are old. You are boring. I have a new life now." My heart broke. It broke into 1,000 pieces. I looked at my wet clothes. I picked up a bag. I put my wet clothes inside. My hands were shaking. My teeth were shaking. I was so cold, but my heart was colder. I walked to the street. I looked back at my house. It was my house too. I cleaned that house every day. I cooked food in that kitchen every day. I planted flowers in the garden. Now I was outside. I was like a stranger. I walked in the rain. I did not know where to go. I had no family in this city. My parents lived far away. I had no friends. Mark did not like my friends, so I stopped seeing them. I was alone. I checked my pocket. I had a small purse. Inside, there was $20. Only $20. That was all I had. I had no credit card. Mark kept all the money. He said, "I work. I keep the money. You stay home." I thought this was normal. I was wrong. I walked to a bus stop. I sat on the bench. There was a roof over the bench. The rain hit the roof. Tap, tap, tap. It was a sad sound. I sat there for a long time. I was scared. What will I do? I asked myself. I have no home. I have no job. I have no money. I cried again. I felt weak. I felt small. A bus came. The driver opened the door. He looked at me. He saw my wet hair. He saw my red eyes. "Are you okay, miss?" he asked. "No," I said. "I am not okay." "Do you want to get on?" he asked. "I have only $20, I said. "It is okay," he said. "Come in. It is dry inside." I got on the bus. It was warm. I sat in the back. I looked out the window. The city lights were blurry. The rain made everything look sad. I closed my eyes. I was so tired. The bus driver took me to a cheap motel. It was not a nice place, but it was cheap. I paid for one night. The room was small. The bed was hard. It smelled like old cigarettes, but it was dry. I took off my wet clothes. I took a hot shower. I cried in the shower. I cried until I had no more tears. Then I slept. The next morning, the sun came up. The light came into the room. I opened my eyes. For 1 second, I forgot. I thought I was in my bed. I thought Mark was in the kitchen making coffee. Then I saw the dirty walls. I remembered everything. I sat up, My stomach growled. I was hungry. I had $5 left. I went outside. I bought a cheap sandwich and a coffee. I sat in a park. I watched people walk by. They looked happy. They had jobs. They had homes. I need a job, I said. I need money. I was 40 years old. I had not worked for 10 years. Before I married Mark, I was a waitress. Could I do it again? I walked down the street. I looked at every shop. I saw a sign on a bakery window. It said, "Help wanted." I looked at the bakery. It smelled like fresh bread. It smelled like sugar and vanilla. It was a good smell. I fixed my hair. I tried to clean my clothes. I walked inside. A woman was behind the counter. She was older than me. She had white hair and a kind face. She was putting cookies on a tray. "Hello," she said. She smiled. "Can I help you?" "Hello," I said. My voice was small. I cleared my throat. I saw the sign, "You need help." The woman looked at me. She looked at my old shoes. She looked at my sad eyes. She did not judge me. She just nodded. "Yes," she said. "I need someone to wash dishes and maybe clean the floor. It is hard work. The pay is not high." "I will do it," I said quickly. "I work hard. I am very clean." "What is your name?" she asked. "My name is Stella," I said. "I am Mrs. Rose," she said. "When can you start?" "Now," I said. "Please. I can start now." Mrs. Rose smiled again. "Okay, Stella, come to the back." That day I washed dishes. There were many dishes. The water was hot. My hands turned red. My back hurt. But I did not stop. I scrubbed the pots. I scrubbed the pans. I cleaned the floor. I wiped the tables. I worked for 8 hours. At the end of the day, Mrs. Rose gave me some money. She also gave me a bag of bread. "Take this," she said. "It is yesterday's bread, but it is still good." "Thank you," I said. I wanted to cry. "Thank you so much." I went back to the motel. I ate the bread. It was delicious. It tasted like hope. I worked at the bakery every day. Mrs. Rose was kind. She taught me things. She taught me how to make coffee. She taught me how to serve customers. 1 month passed. I saved my money. I moved out of the motel. I found a very small room in an apartment. It was tiny. It had 1 window and a small bed, but it was mine. I paid the rent with my own money. I bought a small plant for the window. I bought a blue cup for my coffee. I felt proud. "I did this," I said to the plant. "I am doing it." But sometimes I was still sad. At night, I missed my old life. I missed my big kitchen. I missed my garden. I wondered about Mark. Was he happy? Did he miss me? One day, at the bakery, I was decorating a cake. I liked to draw. When I was young, I liked art. I took the icing bag. I made beautiful flowers on the cake. I made red roses and green leaves. Mrs. Rose saw the cake. Her eyes went wide. "Stella," she said, "did you do this?" "Yes," I said. "Is it bad? I can take it off." "No," she said. "It is beautiful. You are an artist." From that day, my job changed. Mrs. Rose let me decorate the cakes. I made birthday cakes. I made wedding cakes. The customers loved them. They asked for Stella's cakes. I felt happy. I had a talent. I did not know I had this talent. Mark never let me make cakes. He said, "Store cakes are better. Do not waste time." He was wrong. 6 months passed, then 1 year. I was not the same Stella. I was stronger. I stood tall. My hair was shiny. I bought new clothes. I bought a nice red dress. I looked in the mirror. I liked the woman I saw. I made friends too. A woman came to the bakery every morning. Her name was Linda. We talked. We laughed. We went to the cinema on weekends. I realized I was not boring. Mark said I was boring, but Linda thought I was funny. "You are so funny, Stella," Linda said. "You make me laugh." "I am?" I asked. "Yes," she said. "You are wonderful." I started to believe her. 2 years passed. It was a Tuesday. It was raining again. The rain was heavy. It hit the window of the bakery. Tap, tap, tap. I was in the back. I was putting strawberries on a cake. The bell on the door rang. A customer came in. "Hello," I called out. "I will be there in 1 minute." I washed my hands. I walked to the front. A man was standing there. He was wet. His clothes were old and dirty. He had no umbrella. He was shaking from the cold. He looked down at the floor. "Can I help you?" I asked. "Would you like some hot coffee?" The man looked up. I stopped. I dropped the towel in my hand. It was Mark, but it was not the Mark I knew. This Mark looked old. His face was thin. His eyes were red and tired. He looked sick. He looked poor. "Stella," he said. His voice was cracked. I did not speak. I just looked at him. "Stella, is it you?" he asked again. "Yes," I said. My voice was strong. "It is me." He looked at me. He looked at my clean apron. He looked at the beautiful bakery. He looked at my face. I was healthy. I was glowing. He started to cry. Tears mixed with the rain on his face. "Stella," he said, "I looked for you. I looked everywhere." "Why?" I asked. "I am sorry," he said. "I am so sorry." He walked closer to the counter. I took a step back. "Please," he said, "please help me. I made a mistake, a big mistake." "What happened?" I asked. I was not angry. I was just curious. "She left me," Mark said. "The woman, she took everything. She took my money. She took the car. She left me with nothing. I lost the house. I lost my job because I was so sad. I have nothing, Stella." He put his hands on the counter. His hands were dirty. "I miss you," he said. "I miss your cooking. I miss your cleaning. I miss you. You are good to me. I was stupid." He looked at me with hope. "Can we try again?" he asked. "Can I come home with you? We can be like before. I will be good. I promise." I looked at him. I remembered the night in the rain. I remembered the cold. I remembered his cruel words. "You are boring. You are nothing." But I also remembered Mrs. Rose. I remembered my cakes. I remembered my little apartment with the plant. I remembered my friend Linda. I looked at Mark. I felt pity for him. He was a sad man, but I did not feel love. The love was gone. It washed away in the rain 2 years ago. Mark, I said. Yes, he said. He smiled a little. He thought I would say yes. I always said yes before. I cannot take you back, I said. His smile disappeared. What? Why? But I am your husband. No, I said. You are my husband. You kicked me out. You threw my clothes in the rain. You said I was nothing. I am sorry, he cried. I am begging you. I have nowhere to go. It is raining. I know, I said. I know how it feels. It is cold. It is scary. So help me, he said. I will help you, I said. I went to the back. I took a bag. I put a loaf of bread in it. I put 2 large cookies. I poured a large cup of hot coffee. I went back to the front. I put the food on the counter. Here, I said, this is for you. Eat, drink. He looked at the food. Then he looked at me. I don't want bread. I want you. I want my wife. I am not your wife anymore, I said. I am Stella. I am a baker. I have a life. And I am happy. But I love you, he said. No, Mark, I said. You do not love me. You love that I cooked for you. You love that I cleaned for you. You want a servant. You do not want a partner. I pointed to the door. Please take the food and go, I said. He stood there for a long time. He saw my eyes. He saw that I was serious. I was not weak anymore. I was strong. He took the bag of food. He took the coffee. His shoulders went down. He looked very small. Goodbye, Stella, he said. Goodbye, Mark, I said. He turned around. He walked to the door. The bell rang. He walked out into the rain. I watched him go. I saw him walk down the street. He was alone. I felt a little sad. It is sad to see someone fall. But mostly, I felt free. My heart felt light. Mrs. Rose came out from the kitchen. She saw my face. Are you okay, Stella? She asked. Yes, I said. I smiled. And it was a real smile. I am very okay. I looked out the window. The rain was still falling. But inside, it was warm. It smelled like sugar and bread. I went back to my cake. I picked up the icing bag. I made another flower. It was perfect. Life is not easy. Sometimes people hurt you. Sometimes you lose your home. Sometimes you stand in the rain with nothing. But you must not give up. You are stronger than you think. I thought I was nothing without my husband. I was wrong. I was everything. I had talent. I had courage. I could work. I could build a new life. If you are sad today, please listen to me. If you feel alone, please listen. You can stand up. You can walk. You can find a new path. Look at me. 2 years ago, I was crying in the street. Today, I am the best baker in the city. I have my own money. I have my own peace. Do not let anyone tell you that you are nothing. You are special. My husband kicked me out. It was the worst night of my life. But also, It was the best thing that happened to me. Because he kicked me out, I found myself. Now I love the rain. It reminds me that I survived. It reminds me that after the storm, there is always a new day. I wiped the counter. The shop was clean. I turned off the lights. It was time to go home. To my home. I put on my coat. I opened my umbrella. I walked out into the street. The rain felt nice on my face. I walked to the bus stop. I was not afraid. I am Stella. This is my story, and my story is a happy one. Thank you for listening. Remember, you are strong. You can do anything. Keep going. Never stop. The sun will shine again. You might think you are weak. I thought so too. I was just a housewife. I knew only how to clean and cook. I was shy. I was afraid of the world. When I sat on that bus 2 years ago, I was shaking. I thought, I will die. I cannot live alone. But day by day, I learned. I learned to use the cash register. At first, I made mistakes. I gave the wrong change. I was scared Mrs. Rose would be angry. But she said, "Try again, Stella." So I tried again, and I learned. I learned to pay bills, electric bills, water bills, rent. Before Mark did this, it seemed hard, but it is just paper. It is just numbers. I sat at my small table with a calculator. I counted my money. "Okay," I said, "I can pay this." It made me feel powerful. I learned to be alone. At first, the silence in my room was scary. I turned on the radio to hear voices. But later, I liked the silence. I could read a book. I could paint. I could sleep in the middle of the bed. No one snored. No one shouted. No one told me what to do. The silence became peace. I want to tell you about my friend Linda again. She is important. One day, I was sick. I had a bad flu. I could not go to work. I lay in my bed. I felt hot and cold. I had no one to bring me water, I thought. This is the hard part of being alone. Then my phone rang. It was Linda. "Where are you?" she asked. "You are not at the bakery." "I am sick," I said. 1 hour later, there was a knock on my door. It was Linda. She had soup. She had medicine. She had magazines. "I will take care of you," she said. She stayed with me for 2 days. She fed me soup. She put a cool cloth on my head. "Why do you help me?" I asked her. "I have nothing to give you." "You are my friend," Linda said. "That is enough." I cried, not because I was sick, but because I was happy. I found kindness, real kindness, not because I was a wife or a servant, but because I was Stella. Mark never brought me soup. When I was sick, Mark said, "You are lazy. Get up and cook dinner." I realized that my old life was not good. I thought it was good because I had a big house. But a big house is not a home if there is no love. A small room with a good friend is a palace. Let me tell you about the money. When I started at the bakery, I made minimum wage. It was very little. I had to be careful. I did not buy new clothes for a long time. I ate simple food. rice, beans, eggs. I walked to work. I did not take a taxi. But every week, I put $10 in a jar, a glass jar. I hid it under my bed. It was my freedom fund. Watching the money grow was exciting. $10 became 100. 100 became 500. When I had $1,000, I opened a bank account. My own name. Stella Miller, not Mrs. Mark Jones, just Stella. The bank teller gave me a card. My name was on it. I touched the letters. It felt like a trophy. Now I am saving for something big. I want to open my own bakery one day. Stella's Sweets. That is my dream. Mrs. Rose knows my dream. She is not angry. She is happy. One day you will be the boss, she tells me. And I will come and buy your cakes. I will give you cakes for free, I tell her. We laugh. I want you to have a dream too. Maybe your husband left you. Maybe you lost your job. Maybe you are in a new country and you do not speak the language well. It is okay to be scared. Fear is normal. But do not stay in the dark. Take one step, just one. Wash the dishes. Learn a new word. Save $1. Smile at one person. Small steps make a long journey. When Mark came back, he wanted the old Stella. The weak Stella. The Stella who needed him. But that Stella is gone. She stayed in the rain that night. The rain washed her away. The new Stella is here. She is talking to you. I look at my hands. They are a little rough from work. I have a burn mark on my finger from the oven. I love these hands. They earn my living. They create beauty. They are strong hands. Sometimes I see couples in the bakery. They hold hands. They smile. I am not jealous. I am happy for them. Love is good. Maybe one day I will find love again. A kind man. A man who likes my cakes. A man who asks, "How was your day?" and listens to the answer. But if I do not find him, that is okay too. I am enough. I have my blue cup. I have my plant. I have my red dress. I have my friends. And I have my pride. Thank you for listening to my story. If you are in a hard place, remember the rain. The rain must fall so the flowers can grow. You are growing. You are becoming strong. My name is Stella. My husband kicked me out. And now I am begging you, believe in yourself. You can do this. Goodbye for now, my friends. Have a wonderful day. Eat a piece of cake. You deserve it.